Okay, welcome to the channel. So you can see we have some snow last night. One of the things I wanted to talk about, obviously I live in a northern state, so one of the things I want to talk about for people that are on oil is to check your oil tank. And what I mean by that is to check it to make sure that, you know, it's up to par, up to code, whatever it's supposed to be. Because today we are getting a new oil tank installed. And let me take you down the basement and I'll show you why. Okay, here's our current oil tank. It's a little dark down here. I don't have a light with me, but here's our current oil tank. And you can see it's starting to weep right around there. I don't know the date because the date is on a plate on the top and it's all corroded. I can't tell, but we've been in this house 17 years, so I'm going to say it's probably at least 25 years old. And the insurance company, let me turn this around. Okay, so a while ago, maybe several months ago, you know, I'd heard stories about oil tanks online, and I kind of got it in my head that we should replace our oil tank. And I've been looking at an outdoor tank. I think they're called Roth tanks, which is a aluminum tank that has a like a rubber bladder, double walled tank and everything. And they go outside, and usually you find those in trailer courts. Now, when I delivered oil, home heating oil, I delivered to many of those tanks. And I kind of wanted one for this basement. I didn't want anything leaking into the house if anything happened. So when the insurance company came out to inspect the house, which they do about every, I'm gonna say the last time when they were out maybe 4 years ago, and they kind of walked through the house. They wanted to know how many ceiling fans we had, smoke detectors. They want to make sure somebody's still living here, the house is upkept, you know, because they're insuring it. And they come down in the basement. They look at the electrical panel, the furnace, water heater, oil tank, and they sent me a letter a few weeks ago to start watching the oil tank because it has a possible problem with it. Now, some insurance companies can give you a rider on oil tank. I don't know what it costs. I think every insurance company is different. So if you have an oil tank, you know, if you're like me, I very rarely come down to this basement. It's not a basement that you could do anything in. It's a kind of the old part of the house, which is an 1850 farmhouse, is a crawl space. You can't even get in there. It's only this open area here, since they put this new addition on in 2006 before we moved in, that you can actually kind of walk hunched over. So it's not a space that I generally come down to a lot. So guys are going to be here. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning now. They're going to be here at 9. They're taking the old tank out. They're going to take it with them. Now there's very little oil in it because I made sure that when I did this, I didn't have a full tank of oil because they have to pump the oil out into a 55-gallon drum, and they got to pump it back into the tank. So I'm pretty much on empty because I actually shut my furnace off 2 days ago, and we've been using the coal stove. And I'll take you inside and show you the coal stove, which heats this whole 5-bedroom, 2,700 square foot farmhouse. And it gets so warm in there that we have to turn the ceiling fans on up in the bedrooms because it gets too hot. You can't control a coal stove like you can a thermostat. There's no thermostat to set it at 65 degrees, 70 degrees, whatever. So I'll show you this once they're done. I don't want to interrupt them and film them while they're doing it. I'll wait till they're done and I'll show you the new tank. But I showed you sitting over here. They delivered it last night, so they'll be here in a little while. So I'll pick this up when it's all done. Okay, so here we are. New tanks all in. The oil fill is a little bit, the oil filter is a little bit lower than the other one, but here you got all new pipes, fill and vent, and you can see we've got about a half tank. The oil guy just came and I had him drop 150 gallons because we're not going to use oil all that much this winter. I think we're going to stick to probably the coal stove. So let's go inside and I'll show you the letter that I got from the insurance company. Okay, so we got the new tank in. I ordered 30 bags of coal today. We're gonna go pick up tomorrow at Tractor Supply, and they're 40-pound bags, and I'll show you what those look like. I actually have a couple around here. Maybe I'll show you, but the plan is to use mostly coal this winter. and used the oil as kind of a secondary. It used to be that oil, you know, was cheaper than coal. It's not really anymore. When we first started using coal, coal was about $7.99 a bag. It's now $12.99 a bag, and oil is up to $3.60, I think, a gallon. So, and the coal heats the house much better than oil. So let me show you. Here's the letter that I got from the insurance company. Of course, some of this is redacted on here. You don't need to know my address or anything like that. So it says a recent inspection was completed on the above referenced property to determine whether the property meets the Massachusetts Property Underwriting Association's underwriting standards. Now, first of all, Massachusetts Property Underwriting Association, that is basically insurance that the state has to provide when you can't get insurance anywhere else. Now, what that means is most insurance companies won't insure a house if it's over 100 years old. Mine is well over 100 years old. Now, if you go out on Cape Cod, because I think I've mentioned I live in Massachusetts, almost everybody is on this Massachusetts underwriting because pretty much every insurance company dropped everybody that was out there due to wind, you know, hurricane, not really so much hurricane, but wind damage, sea damage, you know, when there's a big storm. So pretty much everybody out there, I think, has to be on the Massachusetts underwriting thing. So I don't know if other insurance companies come out to inspect your house, but they've been out here a couple times since we've lived here for 17 years now. They've come out maybe 3 times, I think. So anyway, it says the inspection did reveal that although the property's current condition meets the association's standards for insurability, certain conditions should be remediated to protect property and increase safety. The conditions are as follows. Fuel tank is in substandard condition. Oil tank is rusted. Now, when they pulled the tank out, I didn't really think the tank was all that bad. It had some surface rust on it, some spots on it, but I didn't really think it was that bad. But again, the tank's probably 25 years old. So it says the association does not require that these conditions be corrected at this time. However, if the above conditions deteriorate, the association may be compelled to take further underwriting action up to and including non-renewal or cancellation. Remedying these conditions may also benefit you by potentially making your home more likely to be insured in the future with a voluntary market insurance company. Well, that's not going to happen because it's over 100 years old. That's what it stands. That's the letter that we got from the insurance company after they did the inspection. One thing that kind of baffled me is the last inspection we had, which was about 4 years ago, they said we needed railings on our deck. We never got them in. And when this guy came this time, he never even mentioned railings. So I don't really know what's going on with it. I'm going to show you in a little bit the coal stove, and I'll take my thermal, my digital thermal thermometer, and I'll show you the temperature. The highest temperature I've ever recorded on it has been 1100 degrees, and that maxes out that digital thermometer. Normally it stays about 700 degrees, but you'll see why these blacksmiths like to use coal when they're making swords and doing anything with metal, because it just heats it up like you wouldn't believe. So, okay, so you can see here's our coal stove right here. It's cranking right now, and I've got the blower on it. So it's pretty hot. So let me check the thermal. All right, so the glass, I don't know if you can see that, but the glass is going up to 900. Is it 935? It's going to be hotter if I open the door, but touching that glass is 952 degrees. So it really cooks in here. Again, you know, this heats this whole big house. So there you have it. If you want to heat, good heat, get a coal stove. Anyway, that's my little public safety announcement. One thing I did want to mention, years and years ago, maybe 20 years ago when I was working at a company, a guy that I knew had just bought a house as a rental property. He owned a house, but he bought the second house as a rental property. Within a month, the oil tank failed and dumped like 100 gallons in his basement. He couldn't actually do anything with that house for like 3 months because EPA has to get involved. And I think in the end, if I remember right, he said it cost him about $150,000 to clean up that oil, because they have to dig up the ground as far down as that oil seeped. However long it takes them, they have to get it all up. So if you have an oil tank, check your oil tank. Go down there with a light, inspect it. If there's any condensation on the bottom, that's an indication that it's probably going to fail. Not right away, but it's on that verge, because oil tanks always have a layer of sludge at the bottom, and that sludge just stays there. Now, this oil tank we've got, we're putting an additive in it that kind of eats up water and from it sitting during the summer and things like that, which is what I was doing before, but I don't know about the previous owners, what they did. So they did take about, I think, the 15 gallons of sludge out of the bottom when they did it, when they emptied the tank, because they have to empty the tank before they take it out and get rid of that, used sludgy oil. So anyway, that's it for this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave me some comments below. Have you ever had an oil tank fail? I can tell you it's not cheap. It costs us about $4,500 to have that oil tank replaced. The old one taken out, the new one put in, and the cost of the tank itself and all the hardware. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.